What's up, guys? Ken over here at Backbodymystery. Right now, we're in recovery. Today, we're going to be talking about podcasts, the history of podcasts, how podcasts have changed the landscape of how we do podcasts. But I got a special guest here, Sir Goodwin from Unapologetic Podcast. But before we get started, slap like and share. That's the best way to support the channel. So, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. We're going to have a good conversation about podcasts. You have a podcast that's quite longer than mine, or been around longer than mine, that I'm still a little new to the game. But let's go into some topics about your podcast. Where can they find you, and what's your topic or content?
You can find Unapologetic Podcast on all podcast platforms and all social media platforms. UNAPOLLAGETIC. It's a funny spelling because I wanted to make sure that it was my hashtag. So if you put it in and spell it that way, I'll pop right up. If you put in the regular way to spell unapologetic, you're going to get thousands of unapologetic podcasts. So that's our unique spelling.
What do you do for fun? When you're not doing podcast, what are you into? What are you, video games, comic books, anime? Are you into anything that you're playing or watching today?
Back in the day, video games was my thing. All the NBA 2Ks and especially MLB, the show. Those are some of my favorite games. I don't play too much these days unless my son begs me to come in and he beat me up real quick. But yes, but I do keep up with it, because it's such a mainstream thing now, from kids to people older than me. So, and the graphics and stuff, everything is just crazy how it is so real. How they get all the facial features and stuff down packed. It's a wonderful thing to watch. I started with, I did have the before Nintendo. What was that?
Before the first Nintendo?
No. Before came the, what was the name of that thing? Can I curse on here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Atari.
Okay.
That's how far back I go.
Oh, you Atari.
Yeah.
Okay. Atari 2600, all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite system before you, I guess, I don't want to say got away from it, but I guess got responsibilities?
I would say the first PlayStation. I don't think I went past PlayStation 1.
Okay.
I didn't have a PlayStation 2, but I did have an Atari, Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Sega Genesis, when I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this.
PlayStation really changed. That's when you had, I think it was on a CD or a disc for PlayStation.
Compact disc.
Right. And that's as far as I went.
I feel like PlayStation 2 was like that was it. When I got that, it was over with. Your podcast has been around for quite some time. Why did you start your podcast?
We've been around this is year 6. And why did I start the podcast? We actually didn't start off as a podcast. We just started off as just a show, doing Facebook Live. Okay. And podcasts were around then, but they weren't as popular. So when we got started, it just kind of went from just doing a show to us buying a board and recording it as a podcast. And now, as you know, there's a podcast for everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just kind of, my friends and I have always we've never been camera shy. I've always had the video cameras, that we would record stuff. We would act like we were doing shows. We would imitate Sports Center and stuff like that. Cool. So we've been doing it without doing it before all the YouTubes and stuff came out. We were on VHS and camcorders doing it. I have a lot of footage of that back in the day.
I ain't heard the word camcorder in a while. So in the 2000s, right, it was called audio blogging.
Okay.
That's when you just recorded audio and just play it back, kind of like listening to a radio, but it was pre-recorded. Mm-hmm. Then, the birth of podcast was kind of like with somebody named Adam Curry, and that kind of like the birth of podcasting. That was in like 2004. Then you got Apple add-on podcast. Apple Podcast was on iTunes 2005. Then the series of launches of podcasts kind of started in really 2014. That was like, they call it the I'm going to say arcade boom, but podcast boom. But podcast blew up right before the pandemic. 2019 to 2024 is people were stuck at home. So podcasting became popular. But what do you think about how something that may seem like it's not popular, years later it becomes popular? Is there anything you can think of right now that is not popular that will become popular?
I know that things just happen so much faster now because of the reach that it can get instantaneously, versus, having to travel from one side of the country to another, and having to rely on radio play,
Okay.
Now, you can go record a song one day, you can have it up on an audio platform the same day and make money the same day. So, but going back to what you said, I did not know that podcasts were around that early.
Yeah.
In 2004, I think you said. And then even when we started, I don't even think I even heard a podcast until, right before the pandemic. So we kind of pride ourselves on, even though they were around, we were around before everybody started doing them,
the camcorders.
Right.
Everybody's trying to jump on the wave. But some people would say in the industry that you need to spend a lot of money to start a podcast. Mm-hmm. What do you prioritize? Quality versus cost, or what works in the moment?
You do not have to start with spending a lot of money to start a podcast. If you are somebody who is, if you're shy, if you don't really have a personality or the drive to be successful, why spend thousands of dollars on equipment? Just grow into it. Get your feet wet, and see if it's something that you can be good at. If you feel like it's something that you can be good at, I would invest in first of all, good microphones.
Absolutely.
I think that is with a podcasts are audio.
Right.
People really don't realize that it's not video, it's audio. So you invest in some good microphones, you get you a good soundboard that you can record on, and you can get roadies are, pretty expensive, but you can get some of the ones that you can transport and move around that are not as expensive, that are just as good. But if you have a good microphone, it will really work out for you. So I just feel like you can start cheap and then go hard as you feel like you want to take it to another level.
Do you have a Shure mic?
Do I have a Shure mic?
Yeah.
I do not have a Shure mic.
So they say that's the industry standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the industry price is about $600 a mic.
But anywho.
Mm-hmm.
And that's before you get anything else.
Yeah. I don't, I wouldn't start there. If you are, if you have a lot of money and it's not going to, affect you, if you buy a $600 mic, it's fine. I can't afford a $600 mic, so I'm not going to buy a $600 mic because I know that they can hear me regardless of the mic. But if you are, if you like you have a lot of athletes who have started podcasts, they have the money. Go ahead and buy the best equipment. Yeah, there is a big difference in the sound quality.
I'm pretty sure it is a big difference.
Yeah.
But it's when I was doing a little research about podcasting and people that start podcasting, some people will break their pockets just to get that one mic and go cheap with everything else. Mm-hmm. But because, like you said, audio is the majority of the podcast. Mm-hmm. Would you tell yourself in the beginning you need to go get that mic? And the reason I'm bringing up that mic, because that mic is like, you see it everywhere. Mm-hmm. Everybody has the Shure mic. Mm-hmm. Would you tell yourself in the beginning, even if you gradually got to it later, would you tell yourself to go back and get it in the beginning?
No. I feel like I don't have the following for that. If I get, a couple of thousand of followers and stuff like that, and I'm making money from it, then I'll say, okay, I'll go and purchase, an expensive mic, expensive camera or, expensive board. But if you're not making any money off of it at that time, I would make sure that that's something that you are really going to invest in. A lot of people start, podcasts or shows and things, and then they do it for a month or two, and then they don't even touch the equipment anymore, So I would make sure it's something that you want to do consistently.
It's tempting to go out and just spend the most money, but if you don't got the content behind it, if you don't got the, like you were saying, being comfortable being on the camera, it don't mean nothing. So celebrities everywhere, influencers, athletes, politicians, you name it, are jumping on podcasts. I do a lot of research. I take about maybe a week or two to come up with questions, things of that nature. But I feel like, and this could be me being biased, do you feel like celebrities that are jumping on, do you feel that they're being authentic with their content, or just because they have the fame, the name, they're going to get the viewers, the likes, but are they really putting out content?
Both.
They both?
I think both. I think that they use their fame and they know that people are going to watch and support just because of their name. I do think that there are some that are really putting effort and being creative and being authentic. I think those are few and far in between. Because you have to protect your brand. And so if you are a brand person, you're probably not going to be as authentic as you probably could be, because you don't want to turn people off. That's one of the reasons why my podcast name is Unapologetic, because I want to say what I feel and mean what I say. And because I'm me. I'm being authentic to what I believe and things like that. So I may turn people off with my opinions, but as far as, I'm authentic. We keep it real. Some athletes and celebrities are not able to be as open and honest as they could be to protect themselves.
When I see celebrities doing podcasts and then you happen to see videos of them outside of that realm, I've seen a couple of celebrities where they wasn't really brought into that podcast. Maybe their team or their management team was trying to get them to, hey, do a podcast so we get the money. It's about the money. It's about the money. We all know the money come later, right? With subscriptions, monetization, but I sometimes feel like all these celebrities jumping on to do a podcast, but are they really authentic? And that goes into my next question. Do you think negative content is the thing to go for? Negative content get the views, it get the likes, it get the shares. Have you ever thought about doing controversial content? And if it got you the views, would you do it?
Well, I like the word controversial versus negative. They say all news is good news. Even the bad news is good publicity. That's my word. So, controversial, controversial now is when you say, like, it really gets on my nerves, this black men versus black women stuff and the gender roles and all. That's real big now. And people just start talking about it just to get, views and to just stir up conversation and just be messy. And it's working, actually. But,
it is working. It's definitely working.
But I don't think that it's not a road that I want to go down. We do talk about, the latest in entertainment, what people are talking about on social media. So we do cover it, but it's something that I'm really trying to get away from. And if it's redundant, if everybody is doing it, then, are you really going to get what makes you different than anybody else? Why do I need to listen to you when I can go listen to somebody else that's doing the exact same thing?
Whoever's the most disrespectful.
So I'm going to stay away from that type of stuff. But, people love the drama and they love the gossip of it and they love to reshare it. So, but I don't necessarily think that, it may get you a viral moment. It might get you a few more followers, but, is it something that a thinker, if they're really going to continue to want to listen to you, just continue to be messy and controversial on purpose? I think that you find people who are just looking for that moment.
Masculinity, femininity. I don't want to have a big conversation about that, right? Because then that goes into a different realm. But how do men and women have a healthy conversation about masculinity and feminism or femininity, whichever one? But how do you have a healthy conversation about it?
I mean, just be honest. It's going to be different for everyone, every person that talks about it. My masculinity is not going to be your definition of masculinity, and same thing with feminism. So, the first thing is to just respect people's opinions and know that there's no right and there's no wrong. We're all different. We're all going to see different. We all have different wants and needs. When you enter the conversation saying, I'm right, you're wrong, this is how it's supposed to be, and it's no way you could prove that. You may feel like you have to pay every bill in the house in order to feel the most masculine. I may feel like you can go 50-50 and still be a man, or not even have a job, and it's still my house. I'm still the man of the house. So, that is just the way of the world.
Yeah, because a lot of people will take stuff from the internet and have very strong opinions, and we see it every day, right? I'm calling it professional debaters or professional shamers. Professional debaters will always sound like they're right. Professional shamers will always sound like they're right because they have crafted an art of countering everything you say. And that get likes and views on the internet. And that creates the perception that, he or she trumps him every question.
Yeah.
And he must be right. Does likes, views, and comments make people feel like they're more right?
I'm pretty sure they do. If you have, 1 million followers, you would think that, okay, well, somebody agreeing with my style.
A lot of people.
I think that for those type of people, those professional debaters and shamers that you speak of, weak-minded people will take to that, will gravitate to that and keep going back for it. And then they will go and spew it on their platforms. And if they're having conversations elsewhere, people who think, for themselves and stay true to themselves are not going to allow those type of people to manipulate their brains. And then especially, reshare it. I want to go back 1 second to what you said about like athletes and celebrities. A lot of them, they come in with the podcast deal. Where they already, they're going to make money just because it's their name, it's their brand. So they don't even have to have a certain amount of subscribers or followers or things like that, because they're going to get their money regardless of how well the podcast does, as well. So people who that are not, they are on the internet just to find, that viral moment and cause chaos. It's only a certain demographic of people that's going to deal with that type of stuff.
When I go in and I do research about podcasts, I'm like, taking tips and things from other people. And I'll be like, man, this person got a lot of views and it just sounds negative. And, it made me think, is our culture of conversation just negative? Or is it just people like chaos? People like violence, right? People like, sex. They like those things people like, right? Money. So is it just where that's a part of the other three or the other two, really? Yeah. Violence and sex. It's just negative. It's just a part of that three.
Well, you said our culture. What culture are you referring to?
So when I say culture, right? The culture of entertainment. The culture of entertainment, what sells on TV? Violence. What sells? Sex, right? Crazy talk shows. Are we attracted to just controversial just in general? Because you'll never see the video. Well, there are some, not all, I'm not going to say, but most of the video that talks about positivity, they not streaming likes, the algorithm pushes it, but it ain't pushing like the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, to each his own. Young people, they tend to like that type of stuff, and older people too. But I don't think that we don't even really do the internet like that.
Don't do that.
We still, a lot of us are still learning, how to use the apps accordingly. So, the younger people maybe, but I don't think old people like myself are we don't even see it, and the reasons we use social media are different than how this upcoming generation uses technology in general.
It's facts. It's facts. It's not facts. These facts are not facts.
We don't. Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of podcasts out there, right? I'm not going to name the podcast, but there's a couple of people that have a lot of followers and a lot of viewers, and they get demonetized a lot, right? So to me, when you get demonetized, it's a couple of things you violated. You're spreading violence, spreading miscommunication, copyright violation, and a few other things, right? Does demonetization mean infringement on freedom of speech?
I guess if that's what they're being penalized for, to express themselves freely, through speech. But you definitely have to put a muzzle on certain things that can incite violence.
I have the list of things you get demonetized for, right? If it's not a crazy list. It's miscommunication, adult content, of course, harmful or dangerous act, copyright violation, or reuse of content. Do you think that should be changed? Because I know how Twitter or X changed, and now you can do whatever on there. Do you think all streaming platforms should just be say what you want?
No.
And the reason I say that is there's a video online of this Caucasian boy acting a fool. I don't know if it's just a mental disability. He's acting a fool. He's saying the N-word like back to back to back. Have you seen that? Yeah, he's just on there. And on Facebook, they'll put people in Facebook jail for saying things, but they will not touch that boy that's screaming the N-word on Facebook. Do you think there's a level of responsibility from these platforms to make sure that they're being fair or right to both sides?
Well, if you are going to penalize me for saying the N-word or something racial, against white people or any race, then he should be penalized as well. Twitter X is, now that they're under different leadership, I think that a lot more is being allowed.
Everything is allowed.
Right. So you can, I'm not opposed to that, because at least what it is going when you click on that button. You don't know what you're going to see, what you're going to hear, and that's fine. I hear a lot of people who have deleted their Twitter accounts since that guy. You show no love, you get no pub. Now that you know what's going on over there, you can stay away. But you can go. You should be able to post whatever you want if it's within the guidelines. Instagram has different rules and regulations. Facebook does too. Just make sure that they're consistent with how they are with everyone and not just letting certain things slide because this person is a celebrity or this person has X amount of followers and stuff like that. So if him being on Facebook and he's saying that, I know Facebook is pretty strict. They're usually pretty strict on, words that you use, so they shouldn't allow that at all. So yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question that's pretty hot right now, right? Just to kind of stir to the left and get off topic. This is fun podcast.
Okay.
I'm sure you heard of this, and if you haven't heard it, then you're gonna give me your opinion. Can 100 humans beat one gorilla?
Can 100 humans beat? I've heard this, of course. I have not delved into it at all because
it is hot right now.
It's silly.
It is,
but 100 humans beat a gorilla? Probably not. That gorilla initially is going to knock off the people really quick, and so those others are going to go up to the gorilla in fear. And he's gonna dominate. So I'm gonna go with the gorilla over 100 humans with no arsenal.
Oh,
if it's just them, if it's just a gorilla and a guy, heads up, gorilla. 100 of them, he gonna get them all at one point.
Yeah, it's I don't know why it's popular, trending, just it's fun to talk about. Just ask you the question.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't see a way for 100 humans to win. I don't see it. 100 humans, remember, if you line up 10 people, it's just a row of 10 humans. It's not that many. And then just the pure strength, you're going to remember chimpanzees be ripping off human fingers by accident, right? So a gorilla's just going to just rip the body in half. So.
Yeah.
Go tear them up.
And just even if they just go like this, they're going to knock over a whole bunch of people and then you get the rest of them. I think it would look like a video game, something from a video game in real life.
What are you most proud of about your podcast?
It's an outlet for me, especially now, where I could just go on. I know every week we're going to talk about certain things and I get to run my mouth. It's still fun.
Okay, that's good.
To me, you have been a guest on Unapologetic Podcast some years ago. It has opened certain doors where I've been able to interview celebrities and actresses and up and coming and promote people's brands and things like that. So that is what I love about the podcast, just being able to entertain people, whether it's just me and my co-host Kim. Shout out to Kim. If I could have anyone in the world, I would have Whoopi Goldberg on my podcast. I think that she is one of the few authentic celebrities. I feel like she would be honest. She's EGOT. She's, a strong Black woman. Her being on The View for many years, we know that she is opinionated and she's very unapologetic about her opinions that has gotten her in some trouble over the years. So right now, she would be my number one person to interview. Absolutely.
Who you picking? Mario or Sonic?
Mario or Sonic?
Yes.
Just my favorite game?
No, just who you picking?
To win a battle. If they battle against each other, what are they doing?
No, which is what character you prefer over the other?
I'm gonna go with Mario.
All right, that was quick. PlayStation 1 or Atari?
PlayStation 1.
All right, PlayStation 1. Have you played God of War before?
No.
You played The Devil May Cry?
No.
Jesus, you ain't that out the loop. There's no way you that out the loop. Just no way.
Never heard of them.
This is number one bullshit.
Never heard of what?
No, I've never heard of them.
Tekken.
So what?
Tekken.
What's that?
You making it hard for me. Yeah.
Oh no, Tekken Street Fighter.
Oh, Tekken Street. I definitely heard of Street Fighter. Yes.
You know what Tekken is.
No, tell me.
What y'all doing, son? I'm dead tired of this.
What you laughing at, boy?
Tekken is a video game where you got the Hashima family where they're fighting each other for the Iron Fist tournament. It's a fighting game. You never played it.
What the is going on?
So one thing about me is that I'm heavily into sports.
Okay, you're heavily into. Okay,
And I've always been into sports since I was born.
all right.
And so because of that, there's always sports going on. There's always a sport to play, inside, outside. There's always a sport to watch. So if there's sports on, I'm watching the sports.
All right, so sports. So I'm assuming you play a lot of sports games.
I played sports games growing up, yes.
Okay. 2K football or Madden?
I played Madden.
Okay. All right. NBA Live or 2K?
See, I thought that was the same thing.
Oh no. You
NBA Live. So I played NBA Live.
You played
I thought it was just, it was continue. It was just continuous. So it'd be NBA Live 25 or 26 now. So NBA 2K is different than NBA Live.
Yeah.
Two different
companies, two different games.
So one was EA Sports,
and
right?
one was 2K Sports.
Okay. See, I'm a EA Sports. We're in the game.
No, you John Madden. You John Madden for real. Oh my God. All right.
When I became an adult, that's really when I stopped playing video games.
You came in the door early.
Yeah. So we're talking about probably when I went to college, I had a PlayStation until I went to college. So we talking 2000, 2001. Then when my son got it, then that's when I went back to it. But no, I was outside.
You outside kid. Okay.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it. It's 6, 7, 10 years down the line. What do you want your podcast to be like? This is the legacy of it.
That's a good question. I feel like when you start something and you are intentional with it, you really have an end goal. When we started it, I don't even think we were looking towards the end and where we wanted to go. We just have fun with it. But now I do feel like it would be nice to, be remembered as a podcast that, that you can go to for authenticity. Us being real, being on the ground, with the things that are really going on in life. I would love to be rich, but I don't want to be famous.
You say you rather be rich but not famous.
I do not want to be famous. Famous people have to deal with the public way too much. And I enjoy being able to move around without people bothering me and especially trying to take you down.
Well, hold on. So if you're walking outside and somebody be like, "Hey, Sir Goodwin, Unapologetic,"
that does happen.
That doesn't like give you like a some type of dopamine effect.
No. I'm nice, but that's on a very local.
Hold on. If you in another city, you walking down the street, someone walks up to you and they recognize you and they be like, "I love the topic, love the content," that wouldn't give you some type of.
It would give me some type of, of affirmation that, okay, what I'm doing is reaching people. I'm doing something right. Somebody likes me and listens to me. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But if it became too much, where I couldn't move around as a regular person,
nah.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be famous. I think you will hear a lot of famous people say, "I'd rather be not famous but have some money," because the fame, you don't have privacy, right? That's everything. The relationship ain't private. Where you go, where you eat, it's not private. I mean, could you imagine that you have to be in a disguise to go eat dinner or something?
Right. I don't. And then I don't want to have to sell myself out
Sell out?
Yeah, I would always want to be true to myself.
Okay.
And I think that once you reach a certain level and you have to, play the game, then
Wait, do you have to play the game?
I think that you do have to play the game in a lot of cases when you reach a certain level of fame and, and if you're trying to go certain places, you definitely get censored. And I don't want to be censored. I definitely want to be able to stay true to myself. So if I believe in Jesus, you go places now, you can't say anything about religion or anything, So I don't want to get to a point where I have to be censored and then canceled. Cancel culture is real. And it could be your show could be doing great. You could put out 200 great episodes and then you say one thing and then we're throwing the whole podcast in the trash. Well, if I didn't get to that level, then we won't even have to worry about that.
What celebrity you think can't be canceled?
It looks like Dave Chappelle.
That's exactly who I was going to say.
Yeah, is the one who they try to cancel him, but he's liked by a lot of people, and he's liked by white people too. So
yeah,
that's one person that probably cannot be canceled.
Yeah, because even before you said it, that was the only person that I was thinking about that. I'm not even gonna say tried. They couldn't cancel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, his Netflix deals have surpassed what that previous deal was. Mm-hmm. If a network came to you and said, "Hey, we like your content. Mm-hmm. We want to give you a show, give you a platform, give you a show window," right? Mm-hmm. Where do you draw the line from where they have too much control? Because they're going to have some control, right? But where does the control stop? If they say, we want to take Unapologetic, put it on TV, where do you draw the line on the control?
That's yikes. That's a good question. I just, as I said earlier, I just don't want to sell myself out. If I can't be true to myself in the things that I'm talking about, then I would have to walk away. It's funny, this question came up last Wednesday when we did our entertainment show. And the question was, if your president, you voted for him, asked you for an interview, or I had the opportunity to interview your current president, I wouldn't do it. Plenty of views and likes and subscribers and maybe some national attention, maybe some international attention. I wouldn't do it. That's how much I am committed to just, being true to myself, Yeah, I don't think he stands for what American people are. And he's torn a lot of things down and been very nasty to a lot of people. So that's not something that I want to be around and be associated with. So I think I kind of answered your question.
No, you want to stand on your principles, your belief, and you want to stand on what you believe is being authentic. And you also want to make sure, I'm just guessing, that the people that know you, your peers and people that know you, want to make sure that is Sir Goodwin, and he hasn't changed and he stands to himself. Because I think peers and people you associate yourself with, you want to make sure that there's an example there, even though some people may say that I don't want to leave a good example, but I know people look at me to be somewhat of an example. Misconception about podcasting and what is reality. You're just going to say if it's misconception or is it factual. All right. So you need expensive equipment to start. Misconception or is that factual?
Misconception.
All right. You need to exert yourself to be successful or create a personality that is not aligned with yourself.
That's a common misconception.
It's a common misconception.
Yeah, everybody is different. That's the great thing about podcasts, that, even little people like myself can create a platform, and what may be boring to one can be exciting to others. You know, podcasts are just not people just talking. You know, you have murder mysteries and people use their platform for so many different ways to express themselves. So common misconception. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. You need to post 20 videos a week.
You don't need to post 20 videos a week because 19 of them can be trash. If you post one good one and, you know, it's getting the buzz that you need, then great. If you post a lot and you're not posting content that's good or that people want to see, you just throwing something together, then no. So no, that's a misconception as well.
Before I go to the next one, do you believe one viral video means success?
Everybody defines success differently, but to answer your question, you know, one viral video can, you know, catapult your career greatly. You know, we know a lot of people who have started in the place that I am and took off. Okay. But one viral video meaning success, that one viral video can be successful and it could be your 15 minutes of fame, but would you consider that success when you got your 15 minutes, now you are back at home in your mama's basement, you know, afterwards?
We not in my mama's basement.
No, I know. That's why I said it, because I know you're not in your mama's basement. but that's what I mean. You know, so you get that moment, but do you want this moment to last, you know, a long time, or do you want it to say, well, I went viral? I'm trying to think of somebody as I'm talking to.
I mean, that went viral, but
went viral, and then you ain't heard from them. You ain't heard from them in a while. It's a lot of them. You know, it's like
it's a few of them. Yeah. Like even with when the memes were out, the memes will pop up with a little, what they call them, vines. I mean, when vines were like a thing to go viral. But yeah, I think if you have a viral video, it's about your next step. What do you do? How do you control it? How do you contain it? Because people will share it, reshare it, and now that stuff is going viral. How do you control it? I think that's the part that determines if you're successful. I mean, that's just my take on that. You need a massive following to make money.
No, you don't need a massive follower to make money. If you get a deal, who cares how many people are following you? If you get a sponsor, you know, so no, that's a misconception. It helps though. It does help. You know, it helps the bottom line. You know, hey, I have X amount of subscribers, I have X amount of followers. So it does help, but it's a misconception.
I can just use my cell phone and be successful or not.
I think that's true. I think that you can use your cell phone and end up being a success. The cell phone is powerful. You know, you can record a video, you can record audio, you can do a whole bunch of things with the phone now. You know, and because you can upload it, you know, I can go up and put up some pictures or some videos from somewhere and use some good hashtags, and bam, you know, everybody commenting you and contacting you. They want to be around you, you know, they want a part of it. So, yeah, cell phones can be good.
Yeah. And the reason I asked that question is because, I've been noticing as I've been, you know, again, doing research, you know, trying to keep crafting my podcasting skills. I see people that are using a cell phone and they got not hundreds, but millions of followers, even hundreds of thousands of followers, but they're not rich. So they're using a cell phone. They got all these followers, but they're not making money. And that goes back to, you know, the first question, you know, you don't need 1 million followers to make money. You can, you know, you already spoke on it. You can make it through other sources.
Success is such a broad.
It is.
It's broad. So, you know, however far you want to go with it. But if you mean make it big, you know, being profitable, then, yeah, you can. You don't need a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot. One video, you know, just with me going like this and recording it can make the world a difference. Just keep going, doing what you want to do, and stay true to yourself. And if you get that moment, you get that moment. Trying to, shame people and be negative and drama one thing that I really don't like is people who force funny.
Funny?
They're trying to be funny, and it's not funny. Or they put on a skit, and that it was not. It was something that was done. It was scripted.
Okay.
So, and it's like we know you're going to fall down the stairs with the food, and you do it. I don't think that type of stuff is funny.
It's funny if when you say that, and I be seeing videos that just look so obvious that it's scripted,
right? But
they get the likes and the followers. It's like, and I go look at the comments. I'm like, are they that naive, or are they just pretty much entertained?
Yeah, well, some people are entertained by that type of stuff, and maybe I'm just too hard on stuff. Like I'll be looking at it like, are you serious? Like people send me stuff, and it's like that they planned that was rehearsed. That was probably take 56.
I appreciate you being on the podcast.
Thank you, sir, for inviting me.
Well,
I'm proud of you.
We proud of me. I'm proud of you, man. Cut that out.
Proud of you.
We proud of each other.
Yeah, this is awesome. The way you have it all nice and decked out. And
oh yeah.
How did you become? Where'd you get the name from?
I don't know what shop I was standing in, right? And I was in line, back body, and it just popped in just like that.
Wow.
It was literally at a place. I could not come up with a name. Somebody's back was to me. Their body was there. And I had to create a Cash App name.
Okay.
So they only took Cash App.
Okay.
So
great.
The mystery part was just thrown on because I like mystery box.
Okay.
So,
and how far do you see yourself? I'm not going to hijack your show, but how far do you see Backbodymystery going? Where do you want it to go?
I want it to be people to understand that it's still cool to talk about video games, toys, anime, action figures. There's a lot of shows out there that are all over the place, right? But there's nobody that's like super big that will say this person talks about nostalgia. That's what I want to become. When you come to this channel, we're going to talk about a lot of different things, equipment, technology, but what we grew up on, what we still like today is popular. And I want to take the narrative away of that. It's cool to talk about stuff that other people may see is not cool, but it is cool, and you're going to respect it. But where I wanted to go, if I had to give you an answer, I mean, having gamers on here, having pro gamers on here, having people on here that are, celebrities that play video games, right? I think those things is what build our characters. So
all right,
was kind of a long answer.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Backbodymystery. Shout out to you, and take that chance and be consistent.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to slide to somebody DM. They might answer.
Pause.
I've done it,
point.
and it worked.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully, I don't slide in for the wrong reasons. All right. Hope y'all enjoy the content. Slap, like, and share, and I'll see y'all guys next time.